doctrine and its limits, security of loans, and all sorts of tiny details. And only then does he tell Moses to come up the mountain and receive the stone tablets. Perhaps this teaches us that a general statement of principles is not enough. Principles are all very well, but unless their consequences are explored and set down in detailed legislation, they mean nothing. Nobody knows what they're expected to do or refrain from doing and how to resolve the problems they encounter daily. Almighty God, our senators are engaged in a constant endeavor to improve our state's laws, to make them clearer and more just. Please guide them so that they bring the laws in closer accord with your will. Laws that promote harmony among people, laws that lead to fewer disputes and easier resolution of disputes. Laws that people can easily understand and that sit well with their sense of justice. Next week, all eyes will be on the Meadowlands, not far from my former home in New Jersey. In working out what laws are appropriate for our state, it is inevitable that there will be some differences among our senators. But next week, all differences will be set aside. As Fiorello LaGuardia might have said, there is no Democratic or Republican way of playing football. A bronco is a wild horse, untrained and useless. But our broncos have been tamed and trained and drilled and prepared to work together for a common purpose that is useful and good. The psalmist tells us not to be like a horse or a mule without understanding, whose mouth must be held with a bit and a bridle. But we can learn from our broncos, not to let our differences get in the way of achieving the goals we have in common, to work with our opponents, even if sometimes we have to bite our tongues and bridle our mouths in the interest of doing what is best for all. And may we all have a Shabbat Shalom, a peaceful Sabbath. Amen.
The Senate will come to order. Senator Rivera, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Thank you, Madam President, and the people in the chamber as well as in the galleries would follow. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Majors, would you please call the roll?
Aguilar. Balmer.
Excused.
Baumgardner. Brophy.
Excused.
Cadman. Crowder. Grantham.
Excused.
Guzman. Guzman. Harvey. Heath. Herpin. Hill. Hodge. John. Johnston. Jones. Kafalis. Kerr. King. Lambert. Lundberg. Marble. Newell. Nicholson.
Is there anyone needing?
Nichols. Renfro.
Excused.
Rivera. Roberts. Scheffel. Schwartz. Stedman. Toktrop. Todd. Ulibarri, Zenzinger. Madam President,
Here. With 30 present, 1 absent, 4 excused, we have a quorum. Motion to adopt the journal, Senator Ulibarri.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the reading of the Journal of Thursday, January 23rd be dispensed with and the Journal be approved as corrected by the Secretary.
You've heard the motion, or maybe you didn't hear the motion. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Ayes have it. Motion is adopted. Senate Services.
January 24, 2014, correctly engrossed Senate Bills 925 and 26.
Message from the House.
January 23, 2014, Madam President, the House has passed a third reading and transmitted the revised statutes, House Bill 1027. The House has passed a third reading and transmitted the revised statutes, House Bill 1004 as amended.
Message from the Reviser.
January 23, 2014, to the Senate, we herewith transmit without comment House Bill 1027 without comment as amended, House Bill 1004.
Committee reports.
January 23, 2014, Committee on Education, after consideration of the Marriage Committee recommends following Senate Bill 2 be referred favorably to the Committee on Finance. January 23, 2014, Committee on Education, after consideration of the Marriage Committee recommends following Senate Bill 4 be referred to the Committee of the Whole favorable recommendation. January 23, 2014, Madam President, the Committee on Education has had under consideration and had hearing on the following appointments recommends the appointments be confirmed. Members of the Colorado School of Mines Board of Trustees effective December 31, 2013 for term expiring December 31, 2017. Stuart A. Bliss, Denver, Colorado, Republican who is not a graduate of the Colorado School of Mines reappointed. Thomas E. Jordan of Centennial, Colorado, an unaffiliated graduate of the Colorado School of Mines appointed. January 23, 2014, Madam President, the Committee on Education has had under consideration and has had a hearing on the following appointments. Recommends appointments be confirmed. Members of the Colorado Educational and Cultural Facilities Authority Board of Directors for terms expiring June 30, 2017. William T. Pound of Castle Pines, Colorado appointed. Dan J. Wilson of Broomfield, Colorado appointed.
Introduction of bills.
Senate Bill 97 by Senator Toktrop concerning the immunity of public agencies against liability arising from the wildfire mitigation activities of insurance companies.
Local government.
Senate Bill 98 by Senator Zenzinger and Representatives Foote and Schaefer concerning clarifications to statutory language on crimes against at-risk elders.
Judiciary.
Senate Bill 99 by Senator Hodge and Representative May concerning a provisional physical therapist license.
Health and Human Services.
Senate Bill 100 by Senators Baumgardner and Herpin concerning repealing certain provisions concerning large capacity ammunition magazines.
State Veterans and Military Affairs.
Senate Bill 101 by Senator Kafalis and Representative Janal concerning the establishment of the unauthorized use of certain veterinary technician titles as a deceptive trade practice under the Colorado Consumer Protection Act.
Health and Human Services.
Senate Bill 102 by Senator Ulibarri concerning the addition of employment positions held at financial institutions to the circumstances under which an employer may use consumer credit information for employment purposes.
Judiciary.
Senate Bill 103 by Senator Guzman and Representative Fisher concerning the phase-out of the sale of certain low-efficiency plumbing fixtures.
Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy. Majority Leader Heath.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I move that we proceed out of order for the purposes of considering Senate Joint Resolution 3.
You've heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Ayes have it. The Senate will proceed out of order for purposes of considering SJR 3 4H Day by Senator Kafalis. Consideration of resolutions. Mr. Majors, would you please read the title to Senate Joint Resolution 3?
Senate Joint Resolution 3 by Senator Kafalis and Representative Sonnenberg concerning the designation of Colorado 4-H Day.
Senator Kafalis.
Thank you, Madam President. Good morning, colleagues. I move Senate Joint Resolution 003 and ask that it be read at length.
Mr. Majors, would you please read the resolution at length?
Whereas succeeding generations of well-educated, concerned, and involved youth are required to ensure that America has a competent and innovative workforce, a cohesive social structure, and effective education system, strong leadership, continued economic prosperity, and healthy communities in the years to come. And whereas the Colorado 4-H Youth Development Program is founded on the notion that youth are a vital resource for ensuring a better tomorrow, and that assisting youth as they prepare for the future is the 4-H program's central mission. And whereas the Colorado 4-H program is an integral part of the Colorado State University Extension and is fundamental to the land-grant University mission. And whereas more than 110,000 Colorado youth, with the guidance of nearly 12,000 adult and youth volunteer leaders, currently contribute to their communities and gain practical experience in such subject areas as workforce preparation and career exploration, leadership and volunteerism, character and ethics, food and nutrition, agriculture and natural resources, conservation, consumer decision-making, veterinary medicine, animal sciences, and public speaking, to name just a few. And whereas the 4-H emblem, a green four-leaf clover with a white H on each leaf, represents the characteristics each 4-H participant develops. Head, which involves thinking, making decisions, and learning new things. Heart, which entails caring about other people, accepting responsibility, and developing positive values. Hands, which symbolizes community service and the effort to acquire and perfect new skills. And health, which involves protecting the well-being of the self and others. And whereas Colorado 4-H returns $45 million annually to the Colorado economy, plus $31 million in added value of volunteer time contributions, resulting in a tenfold return on investment over the cost to conduct the program. And whereas an 8-year longitudinal study of positive youth development recently completed by the Tufts University demonstrates that 4-H members are less likely to engage in risky behavior such as drinking, smoking, and drug use, twice as likely to go to college, 3 times more likely to delay sexual activity by grade 12, twice as likely to exercise and be physically active, and 3 times more likely to contribute in their communities than their non-4-H peers. And whereas participation in 4-H in Colorado is open to youth from all economic, social, and cultural backgrounds between the ages of 5 and 19. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Senate of the 69th General Assembly of the State of Colorado, the House of Representatives concurring herein, that the General Assembly salutes the Colorado 4-H program in its efforts to prepare Colorado's youth for the future, providing a wealth of opportunities for young people to acquire decision-making, leadership, and communication skills, as well as a host of other life skills in a hands-on, friendly learning environment. Commends the Colorado State University Extension for its work in supporting the mission of the Colorado 4-H program, recognizes the invaluable contribution of the thousands of adult volunteers whose efforts enhance the 4-H experience for Colorado youth, acknowledges the significant contribution of 4-H to the Colorado economy, encourages young people in Colorado to get a head start on life by participating in 4-H activities, and declares this day, January 24th, 2014, Colorado 4-H Day, in recognition of the 4-H program's efforts on behalf of Colorado's youth. Be it further resolved that a copy of this joint resolution be sent to the Colorado's 4-H program leader and Youth Development Programs Director, Jeff Goodwin of Fort Collins.
Senator Kafalis.
Thank you, Madam President. And again, thank you, colleagues, for your attention. Today we celebrate 4-H Day here at the State Capitol. There are quite a number of young people in the gallery and assembled here on the Senate floor who are going to participate in, I'm sure, enriching activities over the weekend here in Denver. I believe they come from all parts of the state. The resolution speaks for itself. I know we can all agree that 4-H is a very valuable program, especially for young people in rural areas. I'm not from a rural area, but I like to visit rural areas. And of course, Colorado State University, which is my alma mater, undergraduate alma mater, and the CSU Extension program is critical. Our land grant mission is to make sure that we're out in the communities, out in the fields, and 4-H, which has been around for 100 years or more, is an example of how we can do things well and provide opportunities for our young people to develop their leadership skills, to develop their academic skills, and certainly be contributing members of society, informed and engaged citizens that help hold us accountable. So I appreciate your attention, and I welcome your support of SJR 003. Thank you.
Senator Crowder.
Thank you, Madam President. I also would like to throw my support toward this resolution, and in doing so, I would like to acknowledge Jeff Goodwin, State 4-H Director, is here, along with some other 4-H youth, and thank you, Mr. Goodwin. And at that time, I would like to, move that this be forwarded to the vote of the Senate.
A little bit of extra discussion. Senator Tok Chok.
Thank you, Madam President. And I've gotten up here every year that we have 4-H Day, and this will be the last time I get up. But way back, I was a 4-H leader for rabbits. I find it kind of interesting because my sons raised rabbits at the time. A lot of fun and woodworking and other things. Did not do the big animals, but I did have 2 granddaughters that did big animals, and would always go up to Craig, Colorado, because they showed pigs and sheep. And it's just really interesting to watch. And just a reminder, many of these kids that were in 4-H are going to be at the stock show tonight when we do the junior livestock auction. So, they learned through the process of learning how to show animals, and it's just absolutely wonderful because, and I know that Senator Schwartz is going to talk some more about it, but it gives them a lot of other skills, public speaking, and all those other skills that are so important. And again, I want to thank Senator Kafalas for bringing this forward. It is such an important part of our culture here in Colorado. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Schwartz. You sure may. Senator Rivera.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning and welcome to all yous here and all the 4-H kids and stuff up here and in the gallery, I'm assuming. Welcome to the Senate. My name is George Rivera, and I'm representative of Pueblo, Colorado. And as you well know, Pueblo is the home of the Colorado State Fair. And every year they have the exposition which features all the kids and all the things they do. We have the livestock auction down there as well. We want to, again, welcome you, the delegation from Pueblo, as you, I'm sure, hear from the House. And so we totally support this resolution, that's for sure, and we wish you well in your endeavors in the future. Thank you.
Senator Baumgartner, were you in queue to speak? Senator Baumgartner.
Thank you, Madam President, and I want to welcome all the 4-H kids to the Senate chamber today. Senator Rivera said that's where they have the fair, but I have 7 counties in northwest Colorado that sends a majority of participants down to the state fair. But it's a statewide effort. These kids, and it's been talked about, agriculture, raising the stock, public speaking, there's shooting sports, there's all kinds of things that these kids can get involved in through 4-H. It teaches them how to succeed. And again, we always talk about this is for the children. Well, this is for the children. This is how they learn. This is how they progress. This is how they move forward in life. So this is a great program. My son was in shooting sports in 4-H this year. Like I said, it's a great program, and I support the resolution as well, Madam President.
Thank you. Senator Rivera, did you wish to speak again? Senator Rivera.
Thank you, Madam President. As Senator Baumgartner said, I was remiss in not stating that Colorado State Fair draws folks from throughout the state to participate in that exhibition, not just Southwest or whatever, but Northeast and all, like I say, all parts of the state. So we wholeheartedly support this resolution again. Thank you. Thank you, Madam President.
Senator Schwartz.
Thank you, Madam President. I, too, join in welcoming our 4-H members to the chambers today. I represent 7 beautiful counties of western and central Colorado, and what I would particularly like to have you know is the level of support that you have from the General Assembly when it comes to your programs, it comes to funding your programs, and recognizing all the good work that you do and those people that work with you. At this time, I would like all 4-H members to rise that are in the chambers and ask them to start in leading the 4-H pledge. Thank you very much for sharing that, all that, and I hope you have a great day. We'll see you tonight.
Senator Kafalas.
Thank you, Madam President, and thank you, colleagues and and 4-H members for the pledge. Before I renew my motion to adopt the resolution, I just want to make sure that you're aware, we placed these on your desks, these 4-H folders, and there's some really good information, background information. Also, in particular, CSU commissioned a study this past year, economic impact study, and I think it's important that you take a look at that and see the economic impact of 4-H throughout the state. And then finally, you all have your 4-H bears. I believe this is my third one in my office. I give them out to children when they come visit me, although I must also say that I use them to kind of insulate my window because it's quite drafty, and I'm creating a layer to keep me warm at night. So with that said, Madam President, I renew my motion for the adoption of SJR 003 and request that the present roll call be added as co-sponsors.
The first item before us is the motion to adopt Senate Joint Resolution 3. Are there any no votes? With 30 ayes, 0 noes, 1 absent, 4 excused, SJR 3 is adopted. Senator Kafalis, you want to renew your request for co-sponsors?
No, actually, Madam Chair, if this is not the right time, I just want to acknowledge there are some young people who are my guests from Larimer County, and I know that there are other folks from around the state up in the galleries, just to perhaps offer them a round of applause. And I think Dr. Jeff Goodwin is here somewhere, so I just want to acknowledge those. May we do that?
Go ahead. Let's join Senator Kafalis and all of our guests for a warm welcome from the Colorado State Senate. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, colleagues.
Senator Kafalis.
I believe my business here is ended.
I believe you want to renew your motion to add the present roll call as co-sponsors.
Indeed, I wish to renew my motion to add the present roll call as co-sponsors. Thank you.
Is there any objection? Seeing none, the present roll call will be added as co-sponsors to Senate Joint Resolution 3. Third reading of bills, consent calendar. Mr. Majors, would you please read all of the titles to all of the bills listed on the consent calendar?
Senate Bill 26 by Senator Hodges, Representative Vehil, concerning the removal of certain statutory printing requirements for information provided by the Division of Water Resources. Senate Bill 25 by Senator Hodges, Representative Fisher, concerning grants for domestic wastewater treatment works for small communities.
Majority Leader Heath.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the adoption of all the bills on third reading of bills consent calendar, including Senate Bill 26 and Senate Bill 25.
Is there any discussion on any of the bills listed on the third reading of bills consent calendar? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of all the bills on third reading of bills consent calendar. Are there any no votes on any of the bills on the consent calendar? With 30 aye votes, 0 noes, 1 absent, and 4 excused, those bills, Senate Bill 26 and 25, are adopted. Co-sponsor on Senate Bill 25. Co-sponsors, Senator Talktrap will be a co-sponsor on Senate Bill 25. So I spoke out of order. We're looking for co-sponsors on 26 first. So let me just reopen. Are there any co-sponsors on Senate Bill 26? Senator Guzman, Senator Talktrap, Senator Ulibarri, Senator Schwartz. Co-sponsors on Senate Bill 25. Senator Todd, Senator Zenzinger, Senator Newell, Senator Guzman, Senator Heath, Senator Talktrap, Senator Kafalis. Okay, third reading, Senator Schwartz as a co-sponsor on Senate Bill 25. Third reading of bills, final passage. Mr. Majors, would you please read the title to Senate Bill 9?
Senate Bill 9 by Senator Hodge, Representative Moreno, concerning a disclosure of possible separate ownership of the mineral estate and the sale of real property.
Senator Hodge.
Thank you, Madam President. I move Senate Bill 9 on third reading and final passage and ask for an aye vote.
Is there any discussion on Senate Bill 9? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of Senate Bill 9 on third reading and final passage. Are there any no votes? With 30 ayes, 0 noes, 1 absent, and 4 excused, Senate Bill 9 is adopted. General orders co-sponsors on Senate Bill 9. Senator Guzman, Senator Kafales, Senator Aguilar, Senator John, Senator Kerr, Majority Leader Heath, Senator Ulibarri, Senator Zenzinger, Senator Schwartz, Senator Todd, Senator Crowder, Senator Toktrop. Please add the President. General orders, second reading of bills. You've heard the motion. All in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The Senate will resolve itself in the Committee of the Whole for purposes of considering general order, second reading of bills, calendar. Senator Schwartz will take the chair.
The committee will come to order. The court roll is relaxed. Mr. Majors, will you please read the title to SB 28?
Senate Bill 28 by Senator Jones and Representatives Duran and Tyler concerning an expansion of eligibility for the receipt of disbursements from the Electric Vehicle Grant Fund for the installation of electric vehicle charging stations.
Senator Jones.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 28, and I move the Transportation Committee of Reference report.
To the Transportation Committee report.
So, members, to understand this amendment, you need to know a little bit about the bill. This bill allows electric vehicles to be treated like regular vehicles because they'll have charging stations around to be used so they can go longer distances. You can't drive a regular car very far without a gas station. Same's true with an electric vehicle. The Electric Vehicle Grant Fund was created to make more charging stations available. What we're doing with this bill is broadening the eligible recipients beyond local governments, for instance. And in this case, in the amendment, it's to state agencies, public universities, and public transit agencies, and I ask for a yes vote.
Is there any discussion of the Transportation Committee report? No discussion of Transportation Committee report. No further discussion. Seeing none. Motion before the body is the adoption of the Transportation Committee report. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Transportation Committee report is adopted to the bill. Senator Jones.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I explained the bill. This just allows the state to use some funding to incentivize putting in charging stations so we can sell more electric vehicles at dealerships and create jobs that way, also create jobs putting in these stations, and also give people another option for transportation that is cleaner and becoming more cheap, too.
So is there any further discussion? Senator Crowder.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just had a question. I looked on here on expanding the list of persons or entities that are eligible. Is there a set type of entity or person that would receive that, or are there restrictions on how and who that would open that up to? And with that in mind, the entities and persons that would be vying for this, would they fit into the plan to make this work? Thank you.
Senator Jones.
Yes, all of them would continue to be in there. Right now, local governments, multifamily apartment buildings, and homeowners associations are eligible. The bill, as initially proposed, was for businesses and nonprofit businesses, and the amendment added state agencies, transit agencies, and colleges. The idea is these people pay a fee every year when you have an electric vehicle for this fund, and those people should have the convenience of what works for them, and that's the whole idea. If you spread this to more places, it'll be places where they will go.
Senator Crowder.
With that said, thank you, Madam Chair. With that said, I stand in support of this bill.
Is there further discussion of Senate Bill 28? Senator Trott?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I just stand in strong support of Senate Bill 28. We heard it in Transportation Committee. It passed unanimously, and there was really no opposition. I think the only concern might be in terms of just how those grant monies are distributed, and so that I'm sure will be addressed as time goes on, but I urge an aye vote on Senate Bill 28.
Further discussion, Senate Bill 28? Senator Lombard.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, I did not hear this in committee. I'm trying to get up to speed on it. I know I did not support the requirement that we set these systems in place in the first place, and that's what I'm trying to balance here is if it wasn't a good idea to put it in place initially, is it a good idea to expand it now? That's an interesting question, which I will ponder over the weekend before the final vote.
Is there further discussion of Senate Bill 28? Senator Rivera.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was on the committee that considered this, and it was unanimous, and I did support it. Its presentation to the Senate upon the final vote. However, I did express concerns that this program could morph into something different when, as time goes along, maybe monies would not end up being available or sufficient monies available to continue with the program without some type of state assistance. Being assured by the folks on the panel, the folks that testified that this would not happen, which I in fact voted for that, and so I would support the resolution. I mean the bill in that sense.
Further discussion. The motion before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 28. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Senate Bill 28 is adopted. Mr. Measures, would you please read the title to Senate Bill 20?
Senate Bill 20 by Senator Todd Tropper and Representative Zane concerning administration of the Motorcycle Operator Safety Training Program.
Senator Toptruck.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 20, and there is no committee report.
To the bill, Senator Toptruck.
Thank you. And what this bill does, and let me give you some background about the MOST program, Motorcycle Operator Safety Training. Back in 1991, a group of motorcyclists got together, and they knew that there was a big problem around safety for motorcyclists on the highway. And one way to address it was to set up a training program, and there's many, the MOST program is all over the country. And legislation was passed at that time, and the program was funded by motorcyclists themselves. And when you look at the fiscal note, the surcharge is on the registration of a motorcycle, and then the other surcharge on your endorsement on your license. So this program is fully funded by motorcyclists, and it was very successful. And then back in 1990. I believe 96 or 97, there was a sunset on the bill around the advisory board, and the advisory board was sunsetted, and problems developed within the program. And after the audit, the decision was made to come back, and I believe you remember that we passed legislation last year around re-implementing the advisory board. The advisory board's been re-implemented, but what this was brought to me by the motorcyclist activists and people that work on the MOST program, in particular people that have the riding academies to teach it. They would like to be sure that the money is earmarked specifically to go towards education, and that's what this bill does. It says that they must use 70% of the total cost to subsidize the education. So what happens when a person goes in and wants to take a motorcycle rider safety training program in any of the many programs offered around the state, their tuition is a lot lower because it's subsidized by the MOST program. And then it also earmarks that a certain amount of money would go to administration, and that will help free up one of the folks in the Department of Transportation to be able to go out and do quality assurance and make sure that these most training programs are doing the right thing, because the criteria and the curriculum is set by the highway safety, and we just want to make sure, and I think motorcyclists do too, that when a person is taking that training program, that they are getting the proper curriculum. And I just ask for an aye vote on Senate Bill 20.
Further discussion of Senate Bill 20. Majority Leader Heath.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And Senator Tuckdroff, last year I had the privilege of sitting in with you and listening to all of this testimony, and I take it this is just to further all of the things that we did last year, and that seemed to be well received by CDOT and all of the motorcyclists themselves. And CDOT, I take it, is a strong supporter of this, and this fits in with all the good work we did last year?
Senator Tuckdroff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And at this time, CDOT is neutral. And I understand, you know, we are telling an agency how to earmark the money, and of course, then agencies don't like to hear that from us. But that's our prerogative as members of the General Assembly to do this, and that's essentially why they're neutral.
Senator Jones.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, members, I was around in 1991 when this program started. It's a very grassroots program. Motorcyclists came to the state and said, look, we need to have motorcycling be safer. We're willing to pay a fee to have classes so that we become better riders. And it's a great program because of its grassroots nature and how it's preventive as far as motorcycle accidents. And this is the same people paying the fee coming back and saying, look, we want more money to go into the classes. And that's what this bill does. And so I ask for a yes vote as well.
Further discussion of Senate Bill 20? Seeing none, Senator Tuckdroff. Senator Tuckdroff, you renew your motion?
I just asked for an aye vote on Senate Bill 20.
Thank you. Motion before us is the adoption on second reading of Senate Bill 20. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Senate Bill 20 is adopted. Will Mr. Majors, will you please read the title to Senate Bill 7?
Senate Bill 7 by Senators Lumberg and Jones and Representatives Foote and Del Grosso concerning authority for a Board of County Commissioners to transfer county general fund monies to its county road and bridge fund after a declared disaster emergency in the county.
Senator Lumberg.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 7. Members, Senate Bill 7 is one of several bills that you'll be seeing this session that come out of the Flood Recovery Committee. That isn't the full title, but it's close enough. And these are issues that are just trying to correct some particulars within our laws to make it work a little smoother. In this case, Senate Bill 7 gives an exception to a statute that was put in place 50, 60 years ago, sometime in the 50s, I'm told, that required that the Road and Bridge Fund for counties be completely separate from the general fund, and that you can't use monies one way or the other. And this simply says, in the case of a declared emergency declared by the governor in that county, that the general fund dollars can be used to address road and bridge repair for up to 4 years. And it's obviously dealing with the reality that we have today in many counties, where the need to fix the roads and bridges are now, but the dollars may not be there immediately. And sometimes the interaction is there might be other dollars that will be available, you know, federal or state or some other sources, but the county needs to fix the road now. And if they can take some of their dollars from their general fund to address those needs, it will allow a greater and more efficient and swift recovery. And yet, because this is only to be in place during these declared emergencies, it doesn't disrupt the balance that was struck so many decades ago between those two funds that counties do have to administer their needs with. Would urge the adoption of Senate Bill 7.
Further discussion, co-sponsor Senator Jones.
Thank you. And thank you, Senator Lundberg, for explaining the bill. It's a good opportunity to do bipartisan bills here. Members, if I could have your attention.
Can we please have the attention of the chambers for
a little background. On Wednesday, September 11th, it started to rain. And rain, and rain. Then Thursday, then Friday. 3 days straight. One of those days, it dropped a year's worth of rain. Biblical proportions. The devastation was astonishing. 8 people killed, 218 people injured, 18,000 people displaced, almost 500 miles of roads damaged, from here to Salt Lake, basically. Debris of every description swept away. Trees, kiddie pools, houses, people's lives. The heartache stayed. In Longmont, evacuations were called at 3 in the morning. 12,000 evacuation notices. This is in a town of under 90,000 people. Miraculously, no one was killed, but there were some very close calls. Louisville, Lafayette, Erie, and other areas were also damaged. This bill is the first of several flood recovery bills. It gives counties the flexibility to fix their roads. It enables counties to use their regular general funds for county road repairs in declared emergencies. But there's one more thing you need to know. This is not over. This is not over. Governments are still putting their lives and facilities back together. It will take years. In my county, FEMA has recognized the nonprofit Long-Term Recovery Group of Boulder County to address critical needs including housing. They are still raising money for those in distress. Local governments are racing spring runoff to clear debris to avoid a second flood. One of the Longmont Council members last night told me he's not telling people to finish their basements yet, who were flooded before. So please join me in voting yes on this bill. Please join in one step towards flood recovery. Coloradans who had their lives ripped apart need our help to come back stronger. So I urge a yes vote on the bill.
Further discussion of Senate Bill 7. Senator Lundberg.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, I certainly echo the words and the concerns that Senator Jones has expressed here. It is an issue that has so many facets. Just last Saturday in my hometown of Berthoud, I met with, I don't know, it was 100, 150 people who were affected by one small tributary in this whole mix called the Little Thompson River. Not the Big Thompson, but the Little Thompson that wends its way through much of Larimer County, a little bit of Boulder County, and then ends up there in Weld County before it joins up with the larger arteries. And to hear the stories of those individuals was very sobering. Here we are months later, and they're untangling their lives. We can't fix it all from the government's perspective, but we need to do our part. And this bill is indeed one of several that will be coming your way that has, I believe, that common ground that crosses aisles and fixes problems. So as we move forward, I look forward to working together on this important issue that is good for all of the people of Colorado. Thank you.
Senator Heath.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Representing Boulder County, which obviously was one of the hardest hit by this, you can't help but sit back and reflect on what we all experienced collectively, and I really appreciate Senator Lundberg and Senator Jones coming together on this. I think one of the best things we did in the interim was to appoint the bipartisan commission to work on this. And from everything I can see, and I know we're going to continue to see more, they did a marvelous job of representing all of us in a very thoughtful and humane way. And this is the first of many actions that we're going to witness. But I had, I was going to say the privilege, but very few days after the flood, I went up to Lyons, which I now represent, which Senator Nicholson used to represent. And the mayor and I and several others, including my wife, who I'll just mention runs the Boulder County Community Foundation, and the Lyons and the Jamestown Relief Funds are being go through the Community Foundation. So she went with me, having a personal responsibility for this. Julie Van Domelen is one of the most amazing people I've ever met. She is the mayor of Lyons and is a PhD economist with the World Bank, and happened to be in Tanzania when this occurred, and came back quickly. Her husband was still there, but touring Lyons literally within 4 or 5 days after the flood and seeing the devastation that was there, it was a memory that I will never forget. And as Senator Jones said, literally we have only just begun, but we've done it in I think a very, very fine and heroic and thoughtful way. But we're going to continue to still raise funds, and I know both the United Ways and all the other foundations that are trying to support these people are still continuing to raise funds. And now that it's kind of gone on the back burner, people tend to forget. But there still are huge needs out there, some of which we can meet, but a lot of which still has to be met by ordinary citizens like us, volunteering and contributing to going forward. So this is the first step, I know, of a number of steps that we're going to be given the opportunity to help these people, particularly in these situations. And again, I thank you both for bringing this forward, and obviously would encourage everybody here to give an aye vote and continue to keep all of these people in our thoughts and prayers, and do whatever we can, both individually and collectively, to support these people who are going to be needing our help for a long time to come. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion of Senate Bill 7? Senator Lambert.
Thank you. I think as Senator Lundberg mentioned, this is one of probably many bills coming out of the flood control meeting. We've done a lot of trips during the interim, seen some of the damage. Senator Jones and I, many others, have been working together on this, also members of the House, and there are some real common sense things. Until you, I'm a pilot, and you say until you really maximum perform an airplane, you really don't know how it's going to fly in all conditions. And we've been maximum performing a lot of our emergency procedures, our everything from local municipalities to DOLA to DPS, of course the governor's office. We've gone beyond what we had probably imagined a couple years ago. But we've had several lessons learned. This is one piece of it, but I think what Governor Hickenlooper said about replenishing the reserves that we had built up over the last couple of years, he told me that this was absolutely indispensable to have the kind of legislation we put through here following the Lower North Fork fire, the Waldo Canyon fire, the Black Forest fire. We've been able to build up emergency reserves as we're constitutionally required to under the Tabor Reserve. So those things are things that he wants to continue to increase, and the flexibility we've given the governor, I think, to define emergency powers is probably the best we've had, in any time in recent Colorado history. I think we're going to get a lot more of these bills in. I'm working with the governor's office on some new emergency powers in separate bills, but I think this is certainly a teachable moment for all of us, that we can learn that when we're not really prepared for emergencies, you can get behind the curve we had those bad experiences, especially during the lower North Fork fire, maybe also, of course, in the Waldo Canyon fire. We've got to be much more responsive and allow the governor to use the police powers of the state and the emergency powers that he has as the chief executive to do what needs to be done to fight these natural disasters. So I appreciate working with Senator Jones and others over in the House as well on going forward to apply the lessons learned that we've had from a couple of years of real catastrophe in Colorado. Thank you.
Seeing no further discussion, Senator Jones.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd just like to finish by asking for a yes vote, and I want to appreciate how everybody worked together on this committee in a bipartisan way. Floods don't care about your party affiliation. They don't. And I think our committee has respected that and raised to that, and I appreciate that. I just want to express that to you, Senator Lundberg, and other members in the House. It's Representative Foote and Representative Del Grosso carrying this bill. So we're pushing ahead and working these things together in committee to try to come to some resolution.
Seeing no further discussion, motion before the body is the adoption on second reading of Senate Bill 7. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Senate Bill 7 is adopted. Majority Leader Heath.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move we rise and report.
Motion before the body is to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The motion has it. The committee will rise and report.
The Senate will come back to order. Senator Schwartz.
Thank you, Madam President. The committee has met and has heard a number of bills under consideration. Mr. Majors, will you please read the report?
January 24, 2014, Madam President, your committee of the whole executive reports that in consideration of the following task bills being second reading thereof, makes following recommendations thereon. Senate Bill 28 as amended, Senate Bill 20, Senate Bill 7, pass on second reading in order and grows place on the calendar for third reading and final passage.
Senator Schwartz.
Madam President, I move for the adoption of the report.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the question is the adoption of the committee of the whole report. Are there any no votes? With 30 ayes, 0 noes, 1 absent, and 4 excused, the committee of the whole report is adopted. Senate Bill 28 is amended, Senate Bill 20, Senate Bill 7, passed on second reading and ordered, engrossed, and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Are we ready for it? Senator Nicholson is present. Committee reports.
January 23, 2014, Committee on Transportation, after consideration of the Mayor's Committee, recommends following Senate Bill 60 be amended as follows and as so amended before the Committee of the whole favorable recommendation with the recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. January 23, 2014, Committee on Transportation, after consideration of the Mayor's Committee, recommends the following Senate Bill 53 be postponed indefinitely. January 23, 2014, Committee on Finance, after consideration of the Mayor's Committee, recommends following Senate Bill 36 be amended as follows and as so amended for the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. January 23, 2014, Committee on Finance, after consideration of the Mayor's Committee, recommends following Senate Bill 27 be referred favorably to the Committee on Appropriations. January 23, 2014, Committee on Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy, after consideration of the Mayor's Committee, recommends following Senate Bill 52 be referred to the Committee of the whole favorable recommendation. January 23, 2014, Committee on Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy, after consideration of the Mayor's Committee, recommends following Senate Bill 76 be amended as follows and as so amended for the Committee of the whole favorable recommendation with the recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. January 23, 2014, Madam President, the Committee on Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy is under consideration and at a hearing on the following appointments. Recommends the appointments be confirmed. Members of the Parks and Wildlife Commission for terms expiring July 1st, 2017, Gene Horn of Meeker, Colorado, as a representative of sports persons and outfitters and west of the Continental Divide, reappointed, and James C. Pribble of Boulder, Colorado, as a member at large, reappointed.
Members, we have an important guest who is joining us in the chamber today. Please help me welcome former Senator John Evans, who's joining us today in the chamber. Welcome. Announcements. Senator Todd.
Thank you, Madam President, and happy Friday to everybody. Want to give you a heads up that next Tuesday for transportation, we will have a presentation on aerospace in Colorado. And even if you're not privileged enough to be on Transportation Committee, you are welcome to come and hear about some of the phenomenal, fantastic things that are going on in the state of Colorado. Aerospace is one of the most lucrative and most promising areas of economic development for our state. So come and join us at 2 o'clock, in transportation for an education on aerospace.
Senator Kafalas.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, I just wanted to give you a quick heads up on some upcoming events that Colorado State University will be organizing. On February 4th, the Flint Animal Cancer Center. There'll be folks here to answer questions about the work of the Flint Animal Cancer Center. That's on February 4th. On February 11th, we have CSU Founders Day, and there'll be a variety of activities throughout the day. And I believe we'll have a tribute to CSU. And on February 25th, CSU Ag and Water Reception, 5 to 7 at the University Club. You'll get more information as we go forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Baumgartner. And Senator Tucktrap.
Thank you, Madam President. Let me get this out of the way here first. Next Tuesday, and I'll bring this back up again Monday, Emergency Medical Service Association of Colorado will be having a reception at the University Club next Tuesday from 5:30 to 7:30. Please mark your calendars. Continue.
Please continue.
Thank you. My colleague, Senator Toftrop, and I have been coming down here for well over 2 weeks asking for money for the junior livestock auction, which is tonight. So we have this wonderful picture here, and since I've been here since 2009, we've always ended up with this, a beef, which we all like to eat. I think we have enough this year, gathered enough to buy the halter that pulls the beef along. So if you can contribute, we would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Senator Tucktrap.
Thank you. And it's either a halter or a chicken unless we get more money. So just dig in. This is the last chance. And anyway, please give till it hurts.
Senator Schwartz.
Thank you, Madam President. I do want to encourage the members of the Senate. We can't be shown up by the House, and we have to really show up and be able to buy something besides a chicken tonight. And honestly, the pride that we see in these young people and their accomplishment, and it really is, it's an honor for us to support their efforts and support the 4-H, and let's see if we can't help out a little bit here.
Senator Jones.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, I'd like to let you know that today is National Shout Out Solar Day. It's to honor solar energy at the national level and to recognize that that's an important part of our energy portfolio and growing and getting cheaper, I got to say, too. So shout out for solar.
Majority Leader Heath.
Thank you, Madam President. I have 3 things I just want to call everybody's attention. I should say 4 things. I am wearing my Bronco victory tie today, a week in advance. We're going to get deluged with all kinds of things next week, and I appreciated the rabbi's comments this morning. We're all in this together. Go Broncos, and if I can say that, we'll probably say it a few more times next week. Just to remind all of you that today is the deadline for all regular bills. That's the last 2 of your 5 bills. So if you've got any of those in your possession, make sure they get turned into the Senate front desk as soon as possible, but no later than 4:30. So if you can help us with that. Also, yesterday, obviously, it was tough getting in here on time, and many of us were not able to do so. Let me just make a request. When you come in late, and that's going to be, we're certainly going to have more days with traffic issues and weather issues like we did yesterday. When you come in, just make sure you get the front desk and make them aware that you are here so you can put on the rolls as soon as possible, because if you're not, then you're not going to be able to vote. So just a quick request that you get recognized when you come in, and that would help everybody. And we talked about it yesterday, but Monday is Military Appreciation Day, a very special day in these chambers. We're going to convene at our regular 10 o'clock hour and then recess and go to the House for the Military Day appreciation proceedings, and I know we're all looking forward to that. So, Madam President, I don't have any other announcements. I don't see anyone else coming up here, so I move we adjourn to 10 a.m. Monday, January 27th.
You've heard the motion. All in favor say aye. All opposed, no. Ayes have it. The Senate will adjourn until 10 a.m. Monday, January 27th.